Scottie Barnes. And let's try not to get destroyed by all of the many people on Toronto Twitter that are going to be very angry that we're talking about Scottie Barnes. Although I will say, like, I think they've been pretty like real and open about the fact that Scotty has struggled this year.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he is their favorite like son in Toronto at this point. Okay, let's do this. Let's start with the numbers. Scottie Barnes currently is averaging 14.5 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists per game. On the face, pretty good. He's taking 4 3-pointers a game, shooting 32% on them. Teams don't really guard him out there. They don't care if he takes those shots. He's making 66% of his free throws, 45% from the field. His true shooting percentage right now is 51.7%. That is 1% better than Jalen Suggs, for instance, right? Who we talk about as being this very inefficient player, right? But like, I think that it's, these are the two guys that are going to be compared forever because they were the two options at number 4 overall. And one of them gets talked about as this incredibly inefficient player. And Jalen is more efficient because he turns the ball over more often. Having said that, Scotty also leads the Toronto Raptors in turnover rate at this point at 15%, which is way too high for the percentage of possessions that he gets to run for them, with Fred back in the lineup, with OG taking a step up as being able to handle more offensive creation. So Scotty has been disappointing on offense. It pales in comparison to the level that he's been disappointing on defense, I think. He's been very bad on defense. I'll just kind of let you go first and go now and talk about Scotty. Where are you at with Scottie Barnes at this point?
Yeah, I think we texted about this the other day. I don't think I'm as concerned. I don't know. I'm not going to cookie cut. Like, I think he's been per expectations, not what I expected this year. Like, I was expecting the leap. I really enjoyed Jason Tatum's comments after the game last night. I don't know why he was asked about Scotty's sophomore slump, but I do think it was like interesting to hear him talk about it, and I think there was a lot of good in there. I think that the knee and ankle are clearly still bothering him, even if Nick Nurse is going to deny it. Like, I am watching him play, and like, this dude is not moving in the same way he did last year, which I probably am just less worried about what that means long term, because I think he's going to get right. Hopefully, I just wish that they would actually let him sit and not be war criminals with how they play their guys. But Nick Nurse,
it's insane to be playing him 41 minutes a night while he is like, he's clearly not 100% physically. If he's 100% physically, we have bigger problems, right?
Like, yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. If this is 100% physically,
yeah.
Like, okay, all right, wow, throwing my hands up. But no, I think offensively,
but we've seen him look better, is my point.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think what's weird offensively is, like, again, worth noting, like, how many guys have been out for the Raptors. Like, there's a website you can pay for that shows you, who is missing, who's missed the most guys. I mean, games due to injury. I don't pay for that site, but I can imagine that Toronto will be right up near the top, especially when you're considering how much time Pascal has missed, how much time Fred VanVleet has missed. And also Fred VanVleet has just been dealing with injuries on and off and has not looked like himself much of the year. It's really, this is, OG has been like the only healthy player this year, and that's normally the opposite of how things run. So it's been wacky with that. Obviously Otto Porter's only played 8 games, and I think they were expecting him to be a much bigger part of the rotation. Their spacing has been pretty rough. Like, this is part of it is the offense that they run, but they're 25th in 3-point shooting right now, 33% from 3. Part of it's been slump, part of it's personnel. They only get up like an average amount of threes, but like, they've gone more from Scotty being a play connector last year. And obviously that his role evolved from being more of a play connector to running more stuff on the ball as the year went on. But like, they really put the ball in his hands to start the year. And I think that was like, when you have just less guys who are good in the lineup that you're expecting to have there, like, I think that it makes sense that there were some growing pains with that. I have been impressed with his passing still, but it's just the actual like on-ball scoring has been like, it has taken a hit. And I think part of that is just like last year, like we talked a little bit about with Zion, like he was so good at finding ways to insert himself in the offense. And I think this year they're asking a lot more of him. Okay, be the offense. And I think he struggled with that, to be honest. Like, and I think part of this is not to go on an entire tirade, but like part of why I get frustrated with some of the rookie stuff, like, and this is not to say like I judge people who haven't watched somebody as a prospect and then have thoughts on them. Like, not that at all. But I just think it's important to not put insane expectations on somebody just because of what happens in their rookie year. Like, he was put in a role that was just exceptional for him last year. And he also, to his credit, like he made massive strides that I just didn't expect ever seeing when he was playing at Florida State. Like, I didn't expect some of the touch stuff. I didn't expect the jumper to come along as soon as it did. And I still think like there have been really interesting stuff with his touch finishes. The jumper has just been really off from three for him. And I think that's kind of cratered, especially when you're looking at his shooting percentage, that's cratered stuff.
Yeah.
And he struggled more at the rim too, obviously. And I think partially due to that knee and ankle. Like he just hasn't had he's still dunking the ball a lot. But it hasn't been like, I don't feel like he's had the same separation around the rim. And again, part of that is where he's getting his offense too. But the defense has been the bigger thing for me. In terms of where I am like, whoa. Like I don't think his off-ball defense has been particularly awesome. And that's also noting too, like the closeouts have been really bad. His angles have been really bad. He cannot stop anybody on the ball right now. And again, part of that is like, they're not just saying, okay, we're going to put you on this guy. It's been more so like he's being put into actions and then he's just not able to stick in front of somebody. But I think that's,
well, no, let's call out Nick Nurse a little bit here.
Yeah.
Nick Nurse is having him guard Jason Tatum. He is putting a guy that, again, I personally don't think is 100% right now. I don't know this. I haven't talked to Scottie Barnes. I haven't talked to Nick Nurse. Look, he's not moving as well as what we saw last year. He's not moving as well as what we saw at Florida State.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the reality of the situation, right? I've watched quite literally probably 100 games of Scottie Barnes at this point, if you go back 4 years, right? Probably more than that, honestly. Probably 150 or something like that. I've seen him play so many times. I probably watched 30 Raptors games last year. I watched almost every game he played at Florida State, and I am sure that I watched a significant number, so maybe 100, let's say, games of Scottie Barnes coming into this year. He is not playing like he's never a guy that's played with an exceptional amount of bend, right? Like he's always played a little bit upright and a little bit stiff and used his length. He has none right now. Like he can't, like, it feels like he like almost like is struggling to bend like in his knees a little bit. Hot take. He just was out for a couple games with a knee sprain, right? Like he can't really stop and start his moment. He can stop his momentum, but he can't restart it with the same level of burst that he had. He had an ankle injury at the start of the year, right? Like all of this, I think, is stacking up to the point where I'm like almost tossing what we've seen out. But what I do know is that Nick Nurse playing him 40 minutes a night and having him guard Jason Tatum for, 25 of those minutes, it felt like last night when I was watching that game, that's a bad idea. Like, that's not putting this guy in position to succeed at a high level. And I guess you could say, look, he's getting the reps on one of the best players in the league. This is a role that we're hoping that he can play for us long term, being the guy that can be the defensive stopper with his tools physically, with his length, with his stick-to-itiveness, his motor defensively. He just can't stay in front of anyone. Like, point blank, right now, with where his mobility is, maybe this is what he is now, and then there are bigger problems. I don't really want to consider that because that's just super sad to me, right? That seems like that would suck if that's who he is now, but I don't think it is based off of what we've seen previously. He can't stay in front of people right now. But I understand Toronto thinking that they need to play him because they have nobody off the bench right now that can do anything replicable compared to what Scottie Barnes can do. And by the way, credit Scottie Barnes for getting back and playing and trying to help his team, but he's like not really helping them right now if he's going to be put in the position where he's forced to guard Jason Tatum for 25 minutes a night when Jason Tatum is on like an MVP level heater right now. And the Boston Celtics are going to put you in space for 95 minutes of a 48-minute game. and just force all sorts of movement and all sorts of rotations and all sorts of stop start. Like, I don't know, man. It's tough to watch with Scotty. Like that's honestly, like, I think it's tough to watch, and I'm not taking anything away from what I think his future can be based off of what he looks like right now, but it's a problem that he does not look great right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with that entirely. It's been it has definitely been difficult. I still think like there have been good things to take away from some of the offensive process and learning. But yeah, the defense it's just more in what he looks like physically is a little bit concerning for sure.
Like I sent you a couple clips where I was just like, what is he doing here? Like there was one clip where he got, hesitation crossover by Jason Tatum and totally got blown by. And then the man in the corner had to go help onto Tatum. And then he was responsible for the help on the man in the corner. Tatum hit the kick out to the corner after he'd already blown by Scottie Barnes. I think it was Blake Griffin, if I remember correctly, pump faked him, drove him left and threw down that huge dunk. And
that was kind of wild to watch in real time yesterday.
I was just like, this isn't Scottie Barnes. Like, this isn't the guy we've seen before. Yeah. That was the one where I was like, oh, like this isn't good for him to be out here right now. I felt like, so I don't know.